Hi, I'm Sally Grant and we're back with Simon Blezard, founder and managing director of Bar Exchange. We're now going to talk about business ideas.
Were you always searching for a business idea?
In my last role, I had several large sort of multinational clients. We were doing all the Web 2.0, 3.0 stuff back then, certainly talking about the way the web was evolving, and a lot of it was around social media. So, as I said, I decided to go to India for a couple of months, to take some time off, get some fresh air. And when I came back, it was the epiphany moment happened when I turned up to my local pub, and the local bar manager said, "Why isn't there training for bar staff online?" And I think in retrospect, if I hadn't had that time off and that fresh air, I wouldn't have been as receptive to what he was saying.
Do you think a lot of business ideas are out there in the ether, you just have to be listening for them?
Very much so, yeah. I think it's all about timing. I mean, you can spend 15 years doing a particular job, but that's not to say necessarily that you have any perspective on that job. Breaking that mould by taking some time out, regaining what I call perspective and being open to ideas, I think is a way that probably quite a lot of people start their own businesses. It doesn't just happen by fluke, or they don't just necessarily focus, they have to have their own business. I don't think that's a driving goal. I think it's when you get excited about an idea and you have that opportunity in your life to potentially pursue it rather than being drawn back into corporate life. I think that those were the conditioning factors. The environment was set. All I had to do, and certainly this transpired in the conversation with this bar manager, was make the idea happen as opposed to just talking about it.
A lot of people dream of owning their own business, and a lot of people have ideas, but they never have the balls or the guts to actually say, let's do it.
Yeah.
Where did your impetus come from? There must have been something.
There were two factors. There was one, the causal idea that was presented to me by this particular barman about putting training online for bar staff resonated with me in the sense that I went off and checked whether anyone else in the world was doing this, which is not necessarily the pure focus of Bar Exchange today, but I saw an opportunity, and at the same time I was also seeing an executive coach. She said to me, "You've got to go for this opportunity, especially if you see a niche in the market." It was two things. It was three things. One, there was an opportunity. One, my head was clear. And three, I was under the wing of an executive coach who was very much urging me to follow my own direction.
And that gave you the, confidence or drive?
Well, she very much positioned it, if you don't do this, you'll regret it. So it's about having an idea, and it's about breaking the idea, possible to break it. Yeah, but it's a lonely experience because, I was used to having 100 people, around me beforehand, and, I didn't have any resources apart from one or two former employees who were kind enough and interested enough to having seen me in action before to know that if I do come up with an idea, I will push it out there. You're never going to have the same sort of team that essentially are driven by, their salaries working for you. You have to find people who are like-minded and also buy into you. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can't do anything on your own, I don't think, really. It's very, very difficult. You need a couple of people who will support you throughout the idea. On the other side, you've got your own self-confidence and your own psyche to manage, throughout that period. That's much more of a lonely experience.
With all the talk in the media about social networks and how important they are for employees and employers, obviously Bar Exchange has been set up, its focus being a social network for the bar and hospitality industry. As people become more and more connected within their social networks and go to their social networks for advice, referrals, jobs, that the old recruitment business model is dead, that your idea is, if you like, groundbreaking?
No, all I'd say to that question is I don't think any idea is particularly new. I don't think people have new ideas. I don't think those sort of things exist. I think most of these ideas are hybrids of technology, mashups, all reassembled and put together in a way that, as I said, is kind of defined by the users who use the product or the service. Once the product is in the hands really of the people using it, it's a little bit like sort of postmodernist theory. I have to let it be Bar Exchange become what it naturally becomes, which could be one of two things. It could be a marketing company for the drinks business, or it could become a dating site. A lot of the successful social media companies like LinkedIn, like Facebook, like one or two of the large dating sites, they have very much got under the skin of how people use their product. So usability is absolutely key to anything like this. But usability is defined by the people using it, and not necessarily by the technologist or the entrepreneur.
Stay tuned, listen to part 3, where we talk about Bar Exchange and what Simon hopes for the future.